Hello everyone and welcome to Cisco Live APJC.
Namaste.
Konnichiwa.
Ni hao.
Sawadee-kap.
Annyeonghaseyo.
Salamat pagi. My name is Seema Hine and I'm coming to you from beautiful sunny Sydney, Australia, and I'm so excited to be your host over the next couple of days. Thank you for inviting us into your home, into your office, or wherever you may be watching this amazing event. Cisco created this event over 30 years ago, and we're so glad that we can keep this tradition going on this incredible digital platform. Now, before I go ahead, I do want you to say hello to my lovely co-host, Ray. How are you, Ray?
Hey, Seema, thanks. Hey, everyone. I'm so excited to be with you for these next 2 days. This is my 8th Cisco Live, and one thing I want to say is, oh my God, there's so much new technology for you to experience. I've never seen so much before. We're in an incredible new world, and there are so many incredible new technologies to learn about over these next 2 days. So I hope you have a blast.
Thanks, Ray. Well, this is actually my 7th Cisco Live, but I have to say it's my very first one hosting a live broadcast. So I am buzzing with a few nerves, but I'm super excited to be with everyone here in APJC and to be co-hosting with you. We've got so much in store, and I guarantee you're all going to have the most amazing experience. Now, just to remind you, you have tuned into the Innovation Channel. This is the place where we're going to share the vision and strategy from some of Cisco's senior engineering leaders. And they're going to be sharing their customer stories, as well as a lot of demos across all the technology domains. Now, I just want to tell you, if you want to have the full experience, that full immersive experience, make sure you can upgrade to the All Access Pass. And to do that, you go to ciscolive.com/2021. There's so much there on offer. So, Ray, what else can you tell our audience about this amazing event?
Thanks so much, Seema. Hey, everyone here in APJC. This is our 3rd Cisco Live digital that's purely digital for our region, but this one is so much more than what we've ever done before. First, this is the first time that we're rolling live through all 3 regions of the world, and we're going to get so much more content because of that. And I want to say a special call out if this is your first time with Cisco Live. I've been watching the Twitter feed. There's a lot of you out there talking already saying, hey, this is your first time. So there's a lot of language that you're going to need to get to know. And one of the first ones I want to tell you about is something really cool called the World of Solutions. What is that? That's our digital exhibition space. Seema already said the URL where that's at. You can all go to it. It's free access to the World of Solutions. It's where all the cool demos are. So really keen for you all to get there. Remember, it's ciscolive.com/2021. Let me give you that to you one more time. ciscolive.com/2021. Seema?
Yep.
Back to you.
Okay, my goodness. So much going on over the next couple of days. But let me now tell you just about some of the sessions that we've got coming up, so you know. So firstly, make sure you tune into the Keynote with Chuck Robbins, our global CEO, and Jerry Elliott, who's our Executive Vice President of Sales and Marketing. And she's the most remarkable woman that I've actually had the pleasure to meet. So don't miss that one. Then I'm very excited about the fact that we're going to go local, and we're going to hear from a keynote from Dave West, our APJC President. And he's going to be talking to us about the future of work. We've also got 13 innovation sessions for you to immerse yourself into, and 2 sensational guest speakers. The first one is Mike Walsh. He's a futurist, and he's going to give us some insight into how organizations and leaders are really navigating through this period of change that we've all experienced. And then we've got Alyssa Camplin, who is the first female Winter Olympic gold medalist. And for me, her story is one of courage, perseverance, and resilience. Now, don't forget, make sure you join us on social media to join the conversation. It's #Cisco Live. And do tag us at Cisco Live APJC. Ray and I are both keeping watch of everything that's coming through. If you do, we've got some amazing prizes to be won, some amazing competitions for you to enter. So please be sure to do that. And also one other thing I do want to mention is that while you're in a session, if you do have any Q&A, please make sure to ask your questions. We've got our technical experts on standby. But it doesn't stop here. What else can you tell our viewers to access, Ray?
Thanks, Seema. Hey, something again, for all of you that this is your first time at Cisco Live, there's going to be all these fun expressions that the old timers know really well. And one of those ones, I mentioned it earlier, it's the world of solutions. Goodness, there is so much technology in there to learn. So in the world of solutions, first thing I want to let you know is 34 of our partners have a presence in the world of solutions, and you can go see what they're doing. And you might say, hey, where is that? Because if you're on us through YouTube, if you're on with us from Cisco.com, if you want to see the world of solutions, move yourself across to CiscoLive.com/2021. You'll hear us talk about that a lot. When you go to that site, you will see all of these different areas, and you'll see the world of solutions. When you move into the world of solutions, one thing I'll call out for you is the Cisco Showcase. There are 13 different booths in the Cisco Showcase, all full of all the latest technology, and there are over 90 demos that are live and on demand in that setting. And the thing for me, which is awesome about Cisco Live, is you'll attend a session, you'll hear about something you're really interested in, and then you can go down to the world of solutions and actually see the demos. The other thing you can do in that space, you can visit what we're doing with application experiences, you can visit what's happening with Cisco WebEx, you can see our latest networking solutions. DevNet, for those of you who are familiar with DevNet, if you're a first-timer, DevNet is the area you go around it's for developers with Cisco technology. So there's so much in that world of solutions that you can go to and enjoy. The other piece is there's the Cisco store. So I've got a little bit of my Cisco swag here. It's my water bottle. We've got hats, shirts, t-shirts, and I know a lot of people love that stuff. So if you want to do a little bit of retail therapy in between your sessions, again, in the world of solutions, head to the Cisco store. And then finally, there's a game running called Capture the Flag. I hope you have fun with that. It's going to keep running after this event, and it's a way for you to actually get yourself through all the technology. So check out Capture the Flag. Thanks, Seema. Back to you.
Thanks, Ray. Wow, that sounds super impressive. I hope I get a chance to get down to the world of solutions. And I have to say, Capture the Flag, I actually learned something today, so I can't wait to give that a go. Sounds like a lot of fun. So I'm going to tell you about a few other ways for you all to connect with us and connect with our technology experts. So Ray and I've already mentioned it's the live Q&A. So if you've got any burning questions, any of those tough questions that you want to ask us during the sessions, all you need to do is to go to the right of the video player. That's where you'll see the Q&A panel. Pop your questions in there, and we've got our technical experts who are waiting there on standby to answer your questions. We've also got the WebEx space. This is a cool space to be in because this is the place where you can really continue the conversation, not only with technical experts, but with your peers, because that's why you've come to Cisco Live, to network. So make sure you check that out. Have a conversation. We're going to have some moderators in there. They'll also be posting announcements about the event. So that's a really great place to stay in touch. And the way you can find that is by going to your session catalog and go to that particular session, and you'll be able to join the WebEx space from there. Of course, social media, another fun way to stay engaged with us. I've already seen some social media highlights already on Twitter. I want a big shout out to Nez, who's actually tried out the photo booth. Great job, Nez. Hello. I hope you enjoy the show. And also make sure you join the conversation with hashtag Cisco Live and tag us at Cisco Live APJC. So there's a lot of fun things happening there. Now, to get you all going, I'm going to set you all a bit of a challenge. So if you're up for it, let's do it. I want you to tell me why you're excited to be part of Cisco Live 2021. So Ray and I will be watching. Now, Ray, do you want to tell our audience about the other sessions coming up today?
Sure thing, Seema. Let's run that agenda, production team. So this is what's coming up for us, the next section of your day. So first, we're going to hear very much around how you manage your network in a cloud environment, a multi-cloud environment. We're then going to reimagining the future. I love this new rules for a new world, like bookmark it for yourself and your agenda builder. That's a very exciting session around rethinking how we look at our world. We've got some great celebration in the middle of our day, and then you're going to hear about optimizing application experiences. And that last one's actually one of my favorite sessions. As an old software developer, I'm super excited about what you can now do with those application experiences. The other thing I want to call out is, hey, I'm watching online, and Twitter is starting to go off. So have fun with hashtag Cisco Live. There's so much going on there. We'd love to see you there. So I hope you enjoy that agenda and you are building out the sessions you want to see. Seema, back to you.
Oh my gosh, so many great sessions to watch and so much learning. Well, you know what, Ray? Sometimes we all need to take a bit of a break, and it's not a Cisco Live if you can't have a bit of fun. So to do that, I'm going to tell you a few ways, but first of all, you need to be on ciscolive.com/2021. So the first thing I'm going to tell you about is the trivia games. And if you're a bit competitive like I can be, you can test your knowledge about Cisco, Cisco Live, and also some of the technology topics. And this is available to you on all 6 channels. And all you need to do is scroll down below the video player and you'll see the trivia games section there. We've also got the social media hub, which is a lot of fun. So go check that out. That's where all the action is happening as well. There's the hashtag Cisco Live highlights, and you'll be able to see all the posts that are coming through. So make sure you're tweeting or posting wherever you are on social media so you can be part of the action as well. And remember, hashtag Cisco Live. It's really important you put that to join the conversation, and tag us with Cisco Live APJC so we know that it's viewers from APJC that is talking to us. There's featured photos, so that's also cool. Go and check out the photo booth. I already gave a shout out to Nez. You can wear a funny hat, you can add some merchandise and some stickers. It's really cool. Take a snapshot and make sure you post it because we'll be watching. And then, of course, for those of you that love social media and are competitive again, check out who's on top of the leaderboard. I've seen that one of our keynote speakers, Jerry Elliott, she's already #1 on the Cisco attendee board, so make sure you check that out as well. The other thing I want to talk to you about is social impact, because Cisco Live isn't just about showcasing the fabulous new technologies. It's also about how we use our technology to drive more of that inclusive future for everyone. So I really encourage you to take a moment to visit our social impact site and to learn how Cisco is using its technology, expertise and funding to help those in need the most. And you can find social impact, that link, under attend on the ciscolive.com/2021 homepage. Okay, we've given you a lot of information. Are we ready to get started, APJC?
Thanks, Seema. Hey, Asia Pacific, are you ready? It's about time to go to our keynote in a few seconds. Do you want local language support? If you want captioned local language, make sure you're on ciscolive.com/2021. We've got 7 languages there for Asia. We've got Japanese, we've got simplified Chinese, traditional Chinese, Vietnamese, so many more. Have a look. That could be a great place for you to watch. But now it is time for our global keynote with Chuck Robbins and Jerry Elliott. Enjoy.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to our first ever Global Cisco Live digital event. We are so excited to host a worldwide audience this year. If this is your first time, welcome to our community. For those who have been with us before, you know that Cisco Live has always been about three things: inspiration, education, and celebration. It's the power of this community that inspires us, a community that learns from each other and lifts each other up. And because of the collective talent and spirit of you all, our customers and partners, there is a lot to celebrate this year. It's this community that helped the entire world transition to remote work, that helped teachers connect with their students, doctors with their patients, and governments with their citizens. You have truly been our frontline workers and our true heroes. So on behalf of the entire Cisco family, thank you for everything you've done for your companies, your customers, and for your communities. But we know that we're not through this just yet. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, but there's still a lot of tunnel to get through. And that's what this week is all about. How we move forward together with the tools and the technologies that will drive and define the next new normal. And how Cisco will be the best possible partner to help you tackle these challenges. We have an absolutely packed agenda this week, so let's get started. Please join me in welcoming our first speaker, Cisco Chairman and CEO, Chuck Robbins. Over to you, Chuck.
Well, thank you, Jerry, and it's great to be here. It is so good to be here virtually with all of you. As Jerry said, this is our first global Cisco Live, and we have people attending today from over 200 countries around the world, over 100,000 of you that are logged in right now. And just to be clear, this event is all about you. It's about learning. It's about us talking to you about all the great innovation that our teams have been working on, but it is really about helping you be successful as you move forward. As Jerry mentioned, it's been a difficult year for so many, and it still is in certain areas of the world, but we are beginning to see that light at the end of the tunnel in certain countries, and we wish that all of you would continue to stay safe and stay diligent while we try to work through getting to the other side of this pandemic. And as we begin to see an end to this, I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic because, as Jerry also said, I saw what all of you did last year. I saw what our teams did last year. I saw the technology and the way we used it to actually help organizations and people work from home, remain productive in a very, very, very stressful time. All of you helped your organizations remain resilient, and technology was and will be at the heart of our strategies going forward. And while we're beginning to see the rollout of vaccinations and we're beginning to see the success of those vaccinations and the effectiveness of those vaccinations, there's so much more to do. But we definitely learned last year that based on the technology and based on all of your capabilities and everything that you do every day, the world is truly ours to shape. We are at a unique point in time where we have proven that technology can help us achieve virtually anything. And each of us, all of us, have a role to play as we shape the future of the world, both from a business perspective, from a public sector perspective, in our communities, and candidly helping drive what we all believe we need is in this inclusive recovery post-pandemic. And in this future, technology will truly be at the heart of it. And what we've created over the last year to a year and a half is actually a great deal of momentum. The importance of what you do and the importance of what we do has just gained momentum over the last 15 to 20 years. And again, you showed what's possible last year. The remote work, staying connected, the security, everything that you accomplished was phenomenal. And now we're thinking about how do we return to office? How do we create a trusted workplace together so that as our employees and your colleagues come back, that they feel good about the environment? Our teams have been working on ensuring that we have a successful vaccine rollout with artificial intelligence-powered Wi-Fi in these vaccination facilities, Meraki cameras, IoT sensors ensuring that the vaccines remain at the proper temperatures. And at Cisco, what we want to do is ensure that all the trust that we've built up together over the last 30 years continues to fuel us as we move forward, and that we continue to drive the innovation, much of which you're going to hear about this week, and that we continue to give you the choice in how you consume and use the technology that our teams have built. And as we come back, so many of the things that you were focused on before the pandemic are actually accelerating. And we're focused on helping you accelerate your growth and your transformation and all the things that you're trying to do for your respective organizations. We know that there is so much pressure now to reimagine and re-architect your applications. Everyone's trying to build modern cloud-native applications, regardless of whether you run them in a public cloud or private cloud. They want that cloud architecture. Empowering your teams is more important than ever. And the future is hybrid work, and we all recognize that. And what we need to do together to make our teams productive and feel included in this new world where some team members will be remote, some team members will be in conference rooms. These are the kinds of things that we have to work on together. You're clearly looking at security even more deeply than you have in the past. Just when you think security can't become more important, we have more breaches. Our environments become more distributed, they become more complicated, and at the same time, because of all the traffic patterns that we're seeing and how they're changing in our underlying technology architectures, you're transforming your infrastructure. You're looking at secure cloud on-ramps. You're looking at how you deal with SD-WAN and you deal with these mobile users and branches and home users, and the fact that your traffic used to go from the edge to your private data center, and now traffic patterns can be random from one day to the next. At the same time, you have pressure to deliver this cloud experience. Applications truly are the lifeline of your organization. You're going to have on-prem, you're going to have cloud, you're going to have SaaS, you're going to need security end-to-end. Almost 90% of you in a recent survey did say that you needed an operating model that was going to cross on-prem, private cloud, public cloud, SaaS, and you need security end-to-end. And in this application world, almost 90% of you said, we have to optimize the application experience. It's the most important thing. We have to be able to deploy faster, decrease the networking costs and latency, and we have to simplify the management. We have to deliver security in a way that we haven't in the past. We have to rationalize 5G and where are the use cases for 5G, and then where do we use Wi-Fi 6? And our teams are going to talk a lot about that this week and beyond. And then apps and workloads moving increasingly to the edge, which leads to our simple strategy with you. It's focused on helping you simply connect, secure, and automate to accelerate security in a cloud-first world. This is everything that we're trying to accomplish fits within this strategy statement. And as many of you know, at Cisco Live last year, we talked about our revised purpose as an organization: to power an inclusive future for all. And again, we believe that we can do this through our technology, because we believe that as more and more people on a global basis get connected, they have opportunity. We can deliver education. We can give them access to markets. We can deliver health care. So our technology, by definition, helps bring people into this global ecosystem. And we also believe, like so many of you do, that our corporate social responsibility efforts and that our focus in our communities have to also power an inclusive future for all. And we talked to so many of you about how you feel about this. How do you think about this? We asked leaders in education, leaders in healthcare, sustainability, to think about this inclusive future that we all want to achieve. Let's take a look.
The past year has been a very difficult year for many people. It has forced us to adapt. It has measured our resiliency.
There was an increased urgency to find solutions that actually work for the masses.
This is where businesses and governments and individuals and citizens, all of us need to come together.
In a time of crisis, people look to technologies to help them cope.
Technology is such a powerful vehicle for us to get to a better future, and the capacity to care for each other has to be the fuel.
I feel very proud that we're contributing something to the local community, allowing people to use our estate to get vaccinated.
If I could help one more person the next day, then that was a reason for me to wake up and go to work.
E me ne sono andato per strada, senza aspettarmi niente da nessuno. Quello che è arrivato lo devo a voi, alla Cisco, alla comunità.
Was like a huge eye-opener to understand what Cisco really means to the world, how they truly are trying to build a better future.
I think as technologists, all of us are going to have an opportunity to participate in rebuilding the world.
This will take some frank, honest conversations with everyone at the table.
It's not just about the technology, but seeing really the journey of the human being transformation.
Let's build a future where everyone is seen, everyone is represented, and everyone is valued.
A movement of women in tech that can transform Latin America's future.
Where those most at risk are protected wherever they live.
Where you and I can be equal. Where you and I can stand together.
Io penso fermamente che il domani sia meglio di oggi.
The world I want for my children is a world of inclusion, a world that appreciates diversity.
A world where food insecurity is forgotten.
That comes with preserving the world in which they live.
I believe that this is the greatest intersection of opportunity the world has ever known.
This is the moment for us to stand and say, we're ready.
Future is coming. Together, we make that future better than today.
Boy, the last year has been so incredibly tough, but in many ways so incredibly inspirational. When you hear the comments from the people in that video, I know they're reflective of how so many of us feel. At the time where we were having a pandemic, we were also dealing with issues of inequality, issues of social justice, and I think we all agree that an inclusive future truly does start with an inclusive recovery, and so we're committed to continuing to deliver on the innovation and deliver technology that's focused on your organization's objectives going forward. And all of you are thinking about, how do I deliver a digital organization that's truly dynamic? How do I deal with these significant number of remote offices, home workers, while at the same time creating this trusted workplace in this hybrid work world that we're going to deal with? How do I deal with network transformation and security at the same time? Those two need to come together in ways that they have not in the past. Seamless cloud management, flexible consumption, and automation, insights, observability. We really need to make the move to enable the application to truly gain knowledge from things that are going on in the infrastructure, and you're going to hear a lot about that this week from our teams. We need to converge the network and security to deal with the cloud traffic patterns that you're all seeing, and you're going to hear about that as well. And we need to deliver inclusive collaboration. This is going to be a challenge as we move forward, but we're committed to delivering that for all of you. And as we think about what we're focused on to help you be successful in the future, it really lines up in 6 strategic technology pillars that you're going to hear a great deal about this week. First, around delivering secure, agile networks. And this is comprised of an emerging platform strategy that Todd's going to talk about, as well as the bringing together of networking and cloud security and delivering secure cloud on-ramps as a service, if that's how you'd like to consume them. The optimization of your application experience. We know that the infrastructure and the network and our technology has insights that can help your applications run more effectively, and you're going to hear about that and how we're going to continue to invest to help you actually take advantage of that knowledge as we move to the future. We've talked about the future of work. It is hybrid. It is going to be hybrid, and you're going to have to deal with both employees in the office, as we talked about, as well as at home. And how do we create an experience that makes that home user feel as involved in the meetings, as productive, as effective, as much of a contributor as the people who are sitting in the conference rooms? How do we together build the internet for the future? The merging of optical and routed networks, the new components and silicon that we're delivering and the optics technology that we're delivering, the 400 gig capabilities, delivering that technology as a service with the appropriate orchestration and automation. There's so much that we're going to do together in this space. Capabilities at the edge. We all know that applications are becoming more distributed, and how do we actually expose our capabilities to your applications as you continue to distribute them out to the edge of the network? And then all of this requires end-to-end security. It would be complicated enough for us to deliver an end-to-end security architecture in light of what we're all facing relative to remote workers, remote offices, application portability, and then layer onto that the increased threat landscape that we see happening around the world. We have to focus on this in ways that we haven't even perhaps done in the past. But for all of you out there, one thing that we will continue to focus on, that we've always been committed to, is your skill building, your development, your opportunity. We're going to continue to invest and evolve DevNet. We're going to enable you to grow with DevNet certifications. We're going to continue to have learning labs and sandboxes for all of you to use. We're going to help educate you on this automation and the observability capabilities. We're going to have a DevNet automation exchange and automation boot camps. We're going to have developer centers for infrastructure as code and SASE. There's so much that we're going to do, much like we have for the last 30 years, to help all of us gain the skills to be successful and to lead our organizations from a technology perspective into the future. And we're going to have DevNet specialized partners out there that are going to be able to help all of our customers be successful as we move forward. And many of you may remember 5 years ago, I stood at Cisco Live US and talked about our desire to positively impact 1 billion people globally. And this is not just rhetoric. This is super important to us, and I know it's important to all of you. And we are now at 527 million people that we have positively impacted on a global basis, whether it's helping them have access to clean water, helping them find new jobs, creating STEM education, or the incredible program Net Academy, where we now deliver free online courses in cybersecurity and IoT, and we tripled the enrollment in those courses in fiscal year 21. And you'll hear more about this from Fran tomorrow. And as we gear up for this week, I think it's so important for us to just reflect on what we accomplished over the last 12 months. And to think about the world that we want to shape. And to remember that the future is really up to us. We have the opportunity to leverage what we've learned, to actually leverage the belief we have in what we can accomplish based on what we've done in the last 12 months. We all collectively have the vision. You have our commitment. You're going to hear about the portfolio evolution, and there's going to be continued evolution. And I believe there are incredible possibilities ahead of us. And that opportunity is not only exciting, but frankly, it's our responsibility. And as we think about shaping the world with the technology, whether it's our businesses, our organizations, or this inclusive recovery, the world needs us, the world needs all of you. And it really is our time to turn up the energy and to do this together, and we're looking forward to it. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to turn it over to Liz Centoni, who's going to talk to you about our integrated cloud capabilities, full stack observability. But first, let's take a look at the power of getting cloud smart.
Your cloud. It isn't just a cloud. It's everything flowing through it. It's alive, connecting users, applications, data, and devices. And whether it's cloud native, hybrid, or multi-cloud, it's more distributed than ever. One company takes you inside, giving you the visibility and the insight you need to take action. One company has the vision to understand it all, the experience to securely connect it all, on any platform, in any environment. So you can work wherever work takes you. In a cloud-first world, between your cloud and being cloud smart, there's a bridge. Cisco, the bridge to possible.
We know you have a range of motions to cloud adoption, and it's getting more complicated by the day. For infrastructure and operations teams, this means a new paradigm. Enable developers to build and release code to production safely and address issues fast. Offer choice across on-premises, edge, SaaS, and public cloud environments. Provide developer stack choice, including containers and serverless. And make the infrastructure dynamic by offering everything possible as a service, but with the policy and optimization control. And attract and retain talent, breaking down the silos between teams so everyone can work together to deliver the best application experience. We believe the de facto way of operating, it's hybrid, it's multi-cloud and app-centric. App-centric because apps are the business. It's how your products and services are consumed. Multi-cloud because your apps are used from anywhere, on any type of device, and they consume services from any cloud. Hybrid because you're using a mix of cloud-native and cloud-only apps combined with edge and on-premises apps and services. We want to give you all the power of cloud, and here's how we do that. So what is the future of work? The future of work is hybrid, where people are going to work from home. They're going to work from the office. Workspaces are anywhere and everywhere our teams need it to be. WebEx is now a unified application for calling, meeting, and messaging, and it's really simple to use. You have features such as noise cancellation, gesture recognition, language translation, and transcription. And these are just a few of the 400+ features that have come in just the last few months. And it's brought in this great experience, but it's also brought in this really inclusive experience for everyone. And no matter where your teams work from, we can secure access to the network, user, devices, data, and apps across your cloud, SaaS, edge, and on-premises environments. And when some of you do go back to the office, it is going to look a lot different because there's going to be a lot more safety measures. You have buildings which will have density monitoring, face covering monitoring, new cleaning schedules. You need automation to keep your team safe and give them confidence. Meraki, DNA Center, and WebEx make this possible today. Applications are the way your end users consume products and services. And we need apps to just work, do exactly what the user wants it to be, and be dynamic. So we can add services that can enhance, and you drop services that no longer add any value to the user experience and the business. But delivering that best application experience, it's not just about the application or code. It is also about the infrastructure, the network, the internet. You need visibility and insights across this entire stack and across a hybrid and multi-cloud environment. App Dynamics is now integrated with ThousandEyes. In fact, today we just announced that the ThousandEyes network and internet intelligence is in the App Dynamics Dash Studio. This allows you to see the entire journey of an application and the real-time impact to the end user as traffic crosses the internet from the end user's PC, tablet, phone, all the way to the cloud or the SaaS service it is using and everything in between. Now, with full stack observability from application to the infrastructure, we're helping you break down the silos between your teams with common correlated data sets and common business language to focus on what matters most to the business and deliver the best application experience. The cloud has made life convenient for a lot of us, including end users and developers. but it's also making things a lot harder from a security perspective. And our approach to this is across multiple layers. Secure the cloud infrastructure with Next-Gen Firewall and StealthWatch. Secure the workload, whether that is in a VM or a container or an instance running in the cloud. Secure applications by embedding security natively within the runtime of the application via code instrumentation through AppDynamics. So you now have this combined agent that monitors application performance, and it can also enforce security inside the code, including things like blocking access to a particular cloud service API as defined by your policy. And end-to-end zero trust that provides least privilege access. We can do that for the workload with runtime protection and application microsegmentation. For the worker with multi-factor authentication and SAML-based cloud access. And for the workplace, we have our SASE offerings and our identity and our group policy management with software-defined access. And with SecureX, we bring all of this together, all of Cisco's security solutions, powered by real-time threat intelligence. So let's talk about connecting and consuming cloud. We're making that operationally simple and scalable. Connecting multiple networks with a common policy model, extending that to the public clouds with consistent config, policy, and operations across all clouds. You can now seamlessly consume any public cloud native service. We can connect you directly from the branch sites to the cloud of your choice to consume cloud services and SaaS apps through our SD-WAN integrations with cloud providers like AWS, Azure, and GCP. Networking and security solutions are coming together, delivered from the cloud to support dynamic secure access. In fact, today we're announcing the most expansive SASE offering. You have our SD-WAN solutions, plus Umbrella SIG cloud security, making it much easier for secure multi-cloud access, with direct cloud and SaaS on-ramps. And with our network as a service offerings, you can leverage Cisco's best-in-class networking, observability, and security capabilities to create unified subscription offers that are easy to consume, they're simple to use, and they deliver a great experience. So you now have Cisco Plus that provides all the benefits of Cisco, but now as a service. It's simple, it's agile, and it's a lot more value. And the last one, with Intersight, we provide developers and operations teams with a common environment to build, deploy, and manage both your modern and traditional applications. As most of you know, Intersight has native compute and storage management, but we have virtualization service and Kubernetes service across private and public cloud. And Workload Optimizer allows you to right-size the infrastructure to the changing needs of the application. But now, with Cloud Orchestrator and Infrastructure as a Code, we're delivering it via Intersight services for Terraform. You can provision and manage any infrastructure at scale, including multi-cloud compliance and management, using a library of approved infrastructure modules. You get faster iterations, more resilient and repeatable operations, and create cross-functional net dev SecOps teamings. In a cloud-first world, we're enabling you to achieve even more, but in a cloud-smart way. Now, underlying all of what we do is our innovation promise to you. Put you and the user experience at the forefront of everything we do. Offer simplicity in an increasingly complex world. Provide flexibility and choice as we transition to our portfolio to as a service. Deliver visibility, automation, and built-in security across all of our offerings. Create the interoperability that you need for your environment with the highest quality across our entire portfolio. And to keep earning your trust in every interaction. So now I'm going to move from cloud to applications. And here's a really quick look at how we enable the best digital experience through full stack observability with the integration of AppD and Thousand Eyes. I talked about applications being the business. So if apps are the business, experience is definitely the currency. And I want to use an example that we're all familiar with. Let's say you're a food delivery app for wood-fired pizzas. This company is using AppDynamics. So you have business IQ that shows that application performance is good, revenue is transacting well throughout the entire application. That's great, but we know that things most often don't go as planned. And we can see order volumes dropping, revenues at risk. Now, for those who use AppD, you know that AppD provides business context, so we can focus on the issues that matter most to the business. Now, with the integration of AppD and Thousand Eyes, we can troubleshoot that problem in real time. So what you're looking at is the AppD Dash Studio, On the left-hand side of the dashboard, you have App Dynamics that provides two application performance perspectives. You have the business indicator. It shows that the drop in revenue is due to issues with the health of the third-party payment service, which, by the way, we know that this app is using. You can also see the impact of the end user experience, and it's due to a very high confirmation response time from that same third-party payment service. In the AppD dashboard, we now have ThousandEyes network and internet intelligence. So on the right-hand side, what you can see is where the payments have started to drop off. At that very same time, on the bottom half, you can see that the payment gateway response time jumps up. And it's also tied to a spike in the network latency to that same payment gateway. Now, this whole thing of troubleshooting would have taken hours of siloed teams just even discussing the problem. We can do it in minutes. We can actually get to the root cause by launching ThousandEyes. And in ThousandEyes, by the way, you can see the before and after of any issue. This payment gateway for the app is hosted in a third-party cloud service, and it's always serviced out of the US. You need that low latency to deliver the best end user experience. But for some strange reason, the payment gateway was being served out of Singapore. So something's gone wrong in the DNS-based geolocation. Correcting this back to the US, it brings the latency down and the payment gateway back to health. The checkout experience is now optimized for our pizza-loving customers, and revenue is back up. You have teams working together to reduce troubleshooting time and focus on what is critical, a great digital experience. And that's just a tiny snippet of what we can do. I'll hand you over to Todd now, because he'll be talking about building and deploying with our Cloud Smart solutions for infrastructure and automation. Thank you.
Thanks, Liz. I'm so excited to be here. I love Cisco Live, and it's great to see all the ways that DevOps teams can gain real full-stack observability into their application and cloud infrastructure. I really believe there's two key aspects to a great DevOps motion: full-stack observability and cloud automation. These two pillars are key to a successful cloud-neutral, cloud-native, cloud-smart operating model. So I want to take a minute and talk about cloud-neutral automation from Cisco. Intersight is the world's simplest hybrid cloud platform, delivering intelligent automation and orchestration for applications and infrastructure across public and private cloud. Our users love the simplicity and the power of Intersight. And more of those users are embracing a new automation strategy, infra as code. The ability to deploy hundreds, thousands of containers, hundreds of workloads in just a few lines of code is incredibly powerful. With infra as code, developers can manage physical infrastructure as software and deploy with unprecedented speed. This is the kind of agility that we embrace at Cisco: power and simplicity. And that's why last week we announced our strategic partnership with HashiCorp. HashiCorp's Terraform system is the preeminent infra as code tool, and now all of our customers can leverage it and have it fully integrated into their Intersight experience. I think this is incredibly powerful. And I want to give you a quick look at just how powerful and simple this can be. Here you can see I've got the Intersight platform, and with the click of a button, I can launch into Cloud Orchestrator. Now, using Cloud Orchestrator, I can deploy a massive private cloud using simple workflow automation. I can deploy all the resources I need: UCS compute, storage, and any other resources, including networking. And this is incredibly important because this gives us a very powerful graphical interface to develop repeatable workflows that can radically simplify the way we deploy hybrid cloud. And by integrating with Cisco Nexus Dashboard, it can give us a simple way to deploy not just the compute infrastructure, but the networking infrastructure, which allows secure segmentation and connectivity for our Kubernetes clusters. Now that I've used Cloud Orchestrator and my hardware is provisioned, it's available for the DevOps team. They can start to deploy, and that is where this partnership comes into play. Thanks to integration between Intersight and HashiCorp, DevOps teams can now use their software development tools and Terraform code to deploy their applications with speed and scale. I'm so excited about this. It's a truly special combination of technology that is both powerful and simple. Digital agility, I really believe, is the most important superpower for IT right now. It's not just about power and flexibility and cost management, but if we can provide real agility, the ability to react to changing needs, I believe we can serve our users and serve the world in the most important ways. And we've seen this over the past year. Teams rose to the challenge of the COVID-19 pandemic a year ago, finding ways to keep critical services running, connecting team members working from home, and leveraging technology to keep everyone safe, healthy, and productive. I was so impressed with the work I saw from IT groups around the world. And now we're all focused on this next challenge of redesigning our infrastructure for a new hybrid work model in a cloud-first world. Our infrastructure has to have the insights to tell us what's really happening, what our users are really experiencing, whether they're working from home or in an office. And it has to have powerful automation that allows us to change our infrastructure with the click of a button. This is the agility we all need. Digital agility that combines power and simplicity is going to matter most for schools, businesses, and governments around the world for a year to come. And it's why at Cisco, we are so focused on delivering all of our management, our automation, our insight technology through our platforms, delivering all of the power of Cisco technology in a small number of powerful and simple platforms. And now I want to talk a little bit about how we're pulling these platforms together, integrating them in the tightest possible way to make them easier to consume and radically simpler for everyone, for every user of these technologies, IT admins, DevOps teams, security administrators, to take advantage of everything that Cisco has to offer, the most powerful infrastructure technology in the world. And it is really key that not only do we simplify our technology using the platforms, that we tie them together, we make them the most closely integrated suite they can possibly be. And that's why I'm really excited to just take a sneak peek, a quick look at the first version of our CX Cloud platform Launchpad. This Launchpad is part of CX Cloud. So now in addition to asset visibility, licensing information, support case management, everything else CX Cloud can do, we have our Launchpad to all of our platforms. And it shows status of each of our platforms and gives us a really easy way to access them all. Look at it. It is beautiful. As we focus on agility, I think now is a great time to focus that power on the problems that face us today, the most important problems in the world. And for a lot of us, that means accelerating our global pandemic recovery. By simplifying powerful technology, I believe we can reach every user. We can democratize powerful technology and bring it to bear the most important problems of our world. And an inclusive recovery that reaches everyone around the world is exactly that. That's why this is one of the areas we've focused the most. And specifically, we focused on vaccine administration. Cisco technology is being used in countless ways throughout the pandemic response. With vaccine administration, the way vaccine doses are delivered, are stored, and especially are protected, it is incredibly important, and it's an area where we can really bring to bear powerful IoT technology to make a real difference. So if I go back to my platform Launchpad, I see my Meraki platform. I can click right into that and jump myself into the Meraki dashboard. Here I can see that I've got cameras set up for both Austin and San Francisco vaccination clinics. And with a simple click, I can launch into one of those sites here in San Francisco. It's incredibly powerful. I can see live video feed of that site. I can see the coolers. And not only do I have this camera, I have a second camera set up. I also have two sensors attached to the cooler doors and another one set up on the entry door for the storage area. This gives us an environment that's fully monitored by this one system. I have smart camera technology. I have environmental sensors. And it provides us a really complete solution. In fact, each sensor has an alert profile that determines how the sensor will react when those doors are opened. And when they are open, this alert is going to automatically send a webhook to our WebEx room, and with integration between Meraki and WebEx, it's going to be able to launch an alert right in that WebEx room that can show us what's really happening, can grab an image off the camera and display it to our user directly in WebEx in the simplest possible way. Here you have it. And this is just a great example of providing the insight you need, the information you need, right when you need it. By clicking on this image, we can jump ourselves back into the Meraki dashboard and get a view of what's happening. By using motion search here, I can draw a box right around the cooler, and I can see motion events in single images that tell me what's really happening. I can see that I've got actually authorized user from a user I know accessing this facility. This is incredible technology to show an entire motion event in a single image. It saves an enormous amount of time. It makes access to powerful technology simple. Now I want to take a minute and think about what comes next. How do we best serve our users in a world after the pandemic, in a world of hybrid work and cloud applications? In order to provide the insights needed, we need to focus on how we ensure end-to-end visibility for applications and for our users wherever they are. And that's why I'm really excited to take a look at some of the innovation that we've seen from our Thousand Eyes platform. So we'll go back to the CX Cloud Launchpad here. And of course, I can jump in to the Thousand Eyes platform. Now, Thousand Eyes is well known for the power of internet intelligence and their ability to monitor connectivity from user to application. But there's amazing innovation here. If I look here at the Thousand Eyes platform, I could see that for this application, I was having a very good experience, but something happened along the way. In fact, now I'm experiencing 5-second response time. That's obviously completely unacceptable. So I can quickly jump into path utilization and get a view here of what's really happening. Now, these are users at an office, and each of these green circles is a Cat9K switch. What we've done is we've embedded Thousand Eyes agents directly onto these switches, giving internet intelligence, giving the visibility of Thousand Eyes right off of Cisco's LAN. And that gives us visibility all the way to the user, not just to the WAN, but visibility into every step through the LAN and the application that the user's running on their desktop or laptop. It's incredibly, incredibly powerful technology. In fact, I can see right here where the problem is. And it is in the LAN, so we need to jump on this right away. But I can see I'm having a major problem with this link, and I need to get on that. A 700 millisecond delay there is obviously some major problem. I can continue to look through my Thousand Eyes application here at every hop through the internet into the IaaS provider, in this case Amazon, and all the way up to the application. And you saw the powerful integration between Thousand Eyes and App Dynamics in Liz's talk, and it shows the real end-to-end visibility that Thousand Eyes can provide, from user to application. But this is just half the story. This shows this visibility, this real internet intelligence for users working from the office. We need, in a hybrid cloud world, to provide the same experience for users working from home, and that's exactly what we've done. We've built in Thousand Eyes endpoint agents capable of providing the same level of insights, the same level of networking intelligence all the way to the user when they're working from home. Not just premium users with special teleworking technology, but every user. With unmanaged technology in their home, I can see what network they're connected to, what kind of experience they have, and again, every hop all the way to the application. As we look at the networking infrastructure for this new hybrid world, the last piece we do need to focus on is the WAN and SD-WAN technology. And obviously, all things on the wide area network are near and dear to our focus at Cisco. When we look at the needs, the WAN of the future, we know it has to support a multi-cloud strategy. It has to have deep resilience, and of course, there has to be security. There's security in everything we do at Cisco, and the WAN is no exception. When we look at multi-cloud innovations, we're announcing a host of new SD-WAN features specifically focused on cloud connectivity. Cisco is the only vendor that offers integration across all 3 major cloud service providers. Plus, we've added native optimizations for key SaaS applications like Microsoft 365. Please check out the Cloud Network Innovation Talk, in which we're going to talk about all types of SD-WAN announcements, including new integrations with the AWS Transit Gateway and new partnerships with Google and Megaport to provide better connectivity, better performance, and better cost management. And of course, this is just the next step. There are many, many more cloud and service provider innovations to come across our SD-WAN technology. I'd like to tell you a little bit about a customer that performs at the very, very high end, and that's Riedel Networks. Riedel Networks delivers innovative real-time communications used for major broadcasting events, like the Olympic Games, like Formula One, like German touring car masters. It's an incredibly sophisticated group, and they work with the most powerful networking technology in the world. The kind of events they support, their customers expect nothing short of state-of-the-art reliability and security, but also speed and performance. Riedel services some of the most extreme networks in the world. They support Formula One racing teams, and they connect those teams to the cloud. With Cisco SD-WAN, Riedel provides an entire private cloud network connecting pit crews on the racetrack to a remote garage in the cloud and in their factories to provide diagnostic applications for making fast decisions and pit stop strategies that can reach the racetrack in time. It's a testament to the real reliability, the resiliency, and the performance of this solution. The last piece I think is important for us to talk about when it comes to the WAN, is security. Networking in the past was optimized for the traffic flows that mattered then, mostly site-to-site traffic connecting branches to headquarters. Today, people work everywhere. Applications are distributed through public and private clouds, and those applications are fed from data throughout the environment, from everywhere on the edge. We need to build a true cloud-native network, and most importantly, we need to keep it secure. We need the visibility to understand what's really happening on that network, and all of this can be put together into one architecture. One secure, agile architecture for the WAN. And that's why we're so excited at Cisco to talk about our SASE architecture, Secure Access Service Edge. And at Cisco, that means a complete SASE architecture, combining cloud-native security with powerful networking and client connectivity that can be delivered as a service from the cloud edge with true end-to-end visibility from the user to the application. Now, in order to deliver this, we need to have a real combination of powerful networking, powerful security, powerful analytics coming together into one architecture. And that's why I'm so excited to bring up my friend and colleague, Jeetu Patel, who runs our security and collaboration business, to help me talk through our SASE architecture. Jeetu, come on up.
Todd, how are you?
How's it going?
Good to see you again.
How's it going, man? We gotta stay socially distanced here.
I'll make sure I do that, but I want to let you know that I am extremely excited to be here with you because you and I have been talking about this for quite a while now, the fusing of networking and security so that we can solve customer problems in a very, very elegant and simple way. And there's really not another company that is better positioned to do this than us. And we're so excited to be working with your team, Todd. But more importantly, Todd and I are really excited to make sure that we can bring these elegant solutions to you in a holistic manner as our customers.
Yeah, I agree. When it comes to SD-WAN, cloud security, end-to-end visibility, Cisco has such amazing solutions in each area. And working together to build this into the most seamless SASE architecture. And I want to give you just a quick look at some of the work we're doing here. Here's an example of how we're working to integrate Meraki SD-WAN and the Umbrella Security Gateway. And it's so simple. I jump into the Meraki dashboard. I can take the API key from the Umbrella system, paste it in here. I'm now extending the Meraki SD-WAN fabric all the way to the Umbrella Security Gateway. So it's not just a simple VPN connection. Instead, it's providing the resiliency and the cloud features of SD-WAN, and it's keeping all of that traffic secure using the Umbrella Security Gateway. It's this native integration that can be so powerful. It's something that only Cisco can do because it has to start with best-in-class SASE components. And we have all of those building blocks available today for a SASE architecture. Umbrella for cloud security, Viptela and Meraki for SD-WAN, AnyConnect and Duo for remote access, and Thousand Eyes for end-to-end visibility. As we continue to build tighter and tighter integrations between them, I think we will have something really spectacular in this space.
Now, Todd, what's also important is how our customers can buy our solutions, which is why we're introducing a new offer, which you can buy as our core SASE components in a single purchase. This lets you begin your SASE journey immediately and make sure that you can ease the transition to subscription in the future, protecting your current investments.
And that's exactly right. We're going to talk more about it later in this session, but we're looking at building a combined offer now and being able to transition to the future of offering a full SASE architecture in the most flexible as-a-service way. Before we look at that, I think it's really important for us to understand how a tightly integrated SASE architecture from Cisco can provide the best possible user experience for networking and security administrators. And Jeetu, at Cisco, you are our user experience guru.
Well, Todd, I have a lot of passion around making sure that we can deliver simple, elegant experiences to our customers. And it's not always so simple with networking and security teams today because they operate separately. Even basic needs and tasks can take an enormous amount of time because there's no unified approach really to do it. So I'd like to show everyone our vision of the future where you can start managing your networks and security systems and policies in one single system.
You really should have a single dashboard that allows you to do everything you need to for a secure agile network in one place. Here's an example of our dashboard. It gives your teams one clear view of everything that they care about across networks and users and policies. And we can do this because we have full visibility of the network and security. And we have visibility of that infrastructure beyond just private networking infrastructure and into the internet and SaaS and IaaS providers as well.
Now let's look at a specific problem, Todd. Adding an application to your environment. Say, hypothetically, you wanted to add an application like WebEx. Historically, though, all policies would need to be set individually. Networking policies would have to be set in one set of tools. Security policies would have to be set in yet another set of tools. So we wanted to really simplify this experience. So if you wanted to add WebEx, you just drag and drop the application onto the list of applications that you want to have. And before you know it, voila, the system will assign both networking and security policies based on the class of application that WebEx is. And you can either accept the recommendations or, Todd, you have the full flexibility to change them if you so desire.
Yeah, and it's a great example because collaboration tools like WebEx, they obviously have real network requirements around latency and jitter. We need to provide the right quality of service, and they're also security sensitive. We have secure meetings on WebEx every day, sometimes all day.
All day. And Todd, the way that you treat these different applications has to be different. The way that the network should treat Salesforce is very different from the way that you treat WebEx. And so in just a few clicks, just think of the benefit that you can accrete to have thousands of applications that can have the right policies being applied to it. It's so much faster. It's so much easier.
And simplicity here has an added value, not just in efficiency, but in preventing human error. If something should fall through the cracks here, we could have a serious network outage, and that could cause a serious productivity problem, but even more importantly, it could cause a security vulnerability. And that's why simplicity here is so important and really so powerful.
That's exactly right, Todd. And back on the main dashboard, we can see that WebEx now has been approved. So I hope you're as excited as we are about the possibilities from what you've seen over here today, which is going to be a dramatically more simplified world for managing your networking and security teams and the policies that you have associated with them. Your end users wind up with a great application experience because performance is optimized, and your applications are going to be far more secure. Now, the common question that customers often ask us is, why is Cisco in the best position to be able to do this? And it's because of our breadth and our data. We have more expertise and reach in networking and security than anyone else in the industry. We have a global security intelligence team with our Talos research group that's world-class, and we have internet intelligence from Thousand Eyes, which is a recent addition to our family that we're so excited about.
That's exactly right. Please, everyone, check out the SASE innovation sessions today, where you hear a ton about our integrated SASE offers, about all the technology from Viptela and Meraki, Umbrella, AnyConnect Duo, and of course, Thousand Eyes. The DevNet team has also built an amazing SASE development center to make as much of this information as available as possible and to enable our teams to unlock the power of SASE through API-based automation. G2, thank you so much for your partnership and for joining me here today.
Thank you for having me, Todd. Pleasure to be here.
I'm so excited about how we're bringing networking and security together because we know that only one unified, secure, agile WAN is going to be able to rise to the challenge of this new cloud-first hybrid working world. People need to be able to work in the most flexible way, and at Cisco, we know that also means bringing our offers to market in the most flexible way. And that means bringing offers to market in an as-a-service motion. It can allow us to radically simplify not just the way the technology is used, but the way it's purchased and consumed. And that's why I'm so excited to announce our new as-a-service portfolio, Cisco Plus. Cisco Plus delivers complete, flexible solutions as a service. Cisco Plus is not just hardware as a service or software as a service. Cisco Plus is focused on outcomes and experiences. It's brought to you by Cisco and built from and backed by the technology teams and the promise of Cisco. Cisco Plus is cloud native to provide seamless, agile service delivery, and it comes with a new observability experience that can help our users understand what's really happening in their infrastructure. Cisco Plus delivers a partner program designed not just to enable, but to empower and accelerate transformation to the cloud. And Cisco Plus provides solutions to the problems that matter most today. Cisco Plus means everything you've come to expect from Cisco Plus. I can't tell you how excited I am about this, how important I think this is, because we look across our customer base and we see the need for acceleration, the need to drive urgency and transformation in order to build out the infrastructure that we're going to use for the next decade in a cloud-first world, in a hybrid working world, in a world where technology really can lead the way. I'm super excited about our first Cisco Plus offers. Our first one is going to be Cisco Plus Hybrid Cloud, where it'll allow the power for people to scale their private cloud infrastructure and total cloud automation in a really seamless way. It's going to include UCS compute, intersite, storage, and it will even include data center networking as well, all to be paid for monthly in a flexible way. It can support pay-as-you-go or even pay-as-you-grow models. I'm really excited about this. And our next one will be networking as a service, focused on the SASE architecture you just saw. I'm so excited about Cisco Plus and our ability to deliver all of Cisco technology in the most flexible way. Thank you so much for spending your time with us today at Cisco Live and for looking at all the Cisco technologies. I really appreciate that, and I'm so excited for what we're going to do together. Next up, Jonathan Davidson.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Davidson, and over the past year, the world has recognized that the internet has become absolutely critical. We went from collaborating at our desks to collaborating over WebEx. We went from hanging out in person to hanging out with virtual happy hours. And over 1.2 billion students around the world have been distance learning. You know, I'd like to think over this time that heroes have emerged. And some of those heroes, in my opinion, are those who have enabled us to stay connected. So a huge thank you to all those service providers around the entire world. You know, what we've seen is that the internet spiked 45% growth literally overnight. And we saw digitization rates grow 7-fold. We saw enterprises, 88% of enterprises actually encourage their workers to work remotely. Cloud first became very, very real. The internet bent a bit, but it didn't break. It enabled all of us to continue to work in some form or fashion. Well, I should really say some of us, because there are still 3 billion people around the entire world who remain unconnected or underserved. In fact, the internet is only affordable in 29 countries around the entire world. And if we were to connect the unconnected, $6.7 trillion would be added to the global economy. And we would lift 500 million people out of poverty. We need to determine a way together to connect those next billion users and do it now. You know, as with most things, this comes down to economics. And what we've seen in the past is the failure of economics because investment has trended towards those areas that are more affluent or those areas that have a higher population density. We've seen that in the service provider space, service providers are still spending $5 for every dollar that's spent on actually procuring equipment. Those $5 go to operating and managing that network. And we know that those ratios only get worse through growth. And we know that the internet is continuing to grow at a 35% rate. So we need to redefine, we need to reimagine the internet for the future. We need to be able to close the digital divide, and we need to be able to build a simpler architecture that enables us to create an inclusive future for all. Now, the problem that we have is legacy architectures. And over the last 35 years, we have seen legacy architecture built on top of legacy architecture. We've seen silos of optical and IP networks and how they really work autonomously from each other. we've seen that in this scenario, 2 brains for connectivity are not better than 1. We need to rethink the fundamentals of the internet. We need to simplify how networks are built so that we can close the digital divide. And that comes from fundamental baseline technologies, starting with silicon. Just over 15 months ago, we launched the first chip of Silicon One, breaking through the 10 terabit per second boundary without trading off any capability or functionality. And over the last 15 months, we have been able to offer 9 new pieces of silicon, from 3.2 terabits per second all the way up to 25.6 terabits per second. This is a rate of innovation that I challenge our competition to keep up with. Now, if we move from silicon to optics, I couldn't be more excited. I've been waiting a long time to say this, to welcome the Acacia team to Team Cisco. They bring critical, coherent technology to our optics portfolio. And in fact, they have been able to build transponders that shrink down into a standard optics transceiver. This is a second key element for how we can change the economics of the internet. Now, moving forward to how we bring those optics and silicon together with market-leading software, iOS XR7, that has market-leading capabilities around segment routing and EVPN, that enables you to have path redundancy for 50 milliseconds between any 2 points. But also, in the last 15 months, we've been able to decrease the amount of power in our fixed systems by almost a half. And in our modular systems, we've been able to decrease the power for a 100 gig port by almost 1/3. This means a 100 gig port only consumes 2.25 watts per 100 gig. That is an amazing accomplishment. And 15 months ago, we were 5 times better than the competition. Well, guess what? Now we're 7 times better than the competition. Again, I challenge the competition to keep up with us on this exciting capabilities. Now, when you pull all of these things together, it enables a new architecture that we call routed optical networking. You take the silicon, you take the optics, you take the systems, you take the software, and you pull it all together. And what you're able to do is you're able to go and take those transceivers and plug them directly into routers so that you can have a hop-by-hop network that's significantly more efficient than anything we've ever had before. And from this day forward, if you do not build with routed optical networks, you're spending 46% too much money. We need to rethink the basics of how the fundamentals of the network come together. I know what you're thinking. This sounds a little scary. New architectures, that sounds like something I may not want to bite off all at once. Well, guess what? We have a phased approach that you can step towards. In phase 1 is simply taking those transceivers and plugging them directly into routers. So instead of having transponder shelves, you have simple pluggables going directly into routers. And there's significant savings with just that approach. And what you can then migrate towards over time, you can take legacy optical services and actually migrate them on top of those IP networks so that you can cap your investment in the optical network so that going forward, you'll have one network that is simple and easy to automate and add new services to. So when you talk about what do we need to do to go and add the next billion users to the internet, well, we need to fundamentally reimagine the economics of the internet. We need to make the internet inclusive for all. We need to close the digital divide. Now, in the past, we've done this with legacy technology where we've been able, in the early 90s, we had dial-up networks that went over TDM networks, and today we have voice that runs over IP. Those optical services will become legacy optical services and will run across IP networks, and this is how we close the digital divide. This is how we create inclusive future for all. And before I hand over to my friend G2 to talk about end-to-end security, I'd like to remind you to join our sessions on routed optical networks to learn more about this exciting technology. And I'd also like to end with some of our customers sharing their thoughts on the internet for the future. Thank you.
We believe technology is a powerful force for good and are working to foster a sustainable future where everyone has access to the benefits and opportunities created by that technology. As a networking person, I'm proud of how Microsoft is helping the world overcome the COVID-19 pandemic. As society rapidly shifted its activity online, Microsoft dramatically increased the capacity of our networks, are helping everyone from students and enterprises accomplish more while staying safe.
Internet is becoming a basic human right, and it impacts the quality of life and equity across our communities. At Lumen, we're dedicated to furthering human progress through technology, from expanding internet to rural areas, to offering a platform upon which our customers can build and realize their vision.
The pandemic has shown that connectivity has become a basic need for our customers. And it's our role to extend the reach in the first place in a very reliable way. And then our enterprise customers need help to move to the cloud, online everything with the respective security. This is a great obligation for us, but also a great place to be. You want to be in a business like that.
Hey, thanks, Jonathan. I'm so excited to be here with all of you today for my first Cisco Live. Now, earlier, Todd and I shared Cisco's vision for SASE, which fundamentally is going to change the future of networking and security. Now, I'm excited to give you a deeper dive on Cisco's end-to-end security strategy. Now, security is top of mind for companies today. In a recent survey of more than 23,000 global leaders, we found that 88% think that securing remote work tools and protecting data in a hybrid work environment is critical. But this is becoming more and more difficult to do. Why is that? First, because more companies are moving to the cloud with fewer applications in the data center. Second, people are working from anywhere and accessing sensitive data from various locations and devices. And finally, the threats are becoming more advanced. Hafnium, the latest major attack to hit the news recently, affected at least 30,000 organizations in the US, showing the scale and the creativity of these threat actors today. All this means is that security is getting much more complex. So we've developed a 3-point plan to respond. Number 1, protect critical control points. Number 2, reimagine access control. And number 3, be proactive with extended detection and response. Now let me walk you through the strategy of how we can help secure everything that matters. Now, the first part of the strategy is to protect you. The attack surface continues to grow for every organization. To stay safe, you need enforcement at critical control points. So why should you choose Cisco is the question you might ask. Because we have a breadth of capability and that no other provider can match. We protect literally 100% of the Fortune 100. With leading products across control points, and we're driving innovation that protects you and your organizations at a very, very kind of rapid pace. To learn more about our comprehensive protection, check out our security innovation session that's coming up later. We also have a massive amount of global data that we can leverage to better protect our customers. Our scale is literally unmatched in the industry. To give you an example, we protect 87 million endpoints. Our umbrella product secures more than 115 million users, including large organizations like Ford. And with Duo, we process 900 million authentications every month. Now, one customer that trusts Duo is Lyft. Lyft chose Duo for 3 specific reasons. 1, it provides the broadest coverage. Second, it's the best user experience. And third, it's pretty easy to implement. So one example of where we're innovating is with passwordless authentication. For many of us, when logging into corporate applications, we need to enter passwords multiple times a day. And this can be cumbersome and tiring, and it also has risk because sometimes people can watch what you're typing in, or it could be intercepted. We wanted to reduce the friction while improving the security posture of you and your organization. So we developed passwordless authentication, which uses biometrics like Touch ID and Face ID. Now you can quickly authenticate and access different applications within the organization using this. It's so easy to use, actually, that it's very hard to demo because it's going to go by so quickly. So I'm going to request you to pay a little bit of attention here. Here's what we see on how I authenticate using our single sign-on portal. Notice I don't have to enter any long, complicated password or copy or paste. I just hit next. From there, we're using Windows Hello, and I just click OK. If I were using a non-Windows device, we would just use something like Touch ID or Face ID. Next, you can see that I'm granted access. It's literally that easy. It's one gesture and 2 factors. The first is my registered device, and the second is who I am, which is my biometrics. Now, I can't wait to get this capability in your hands, and it's going to be available as early as July. Now, in the world of security, what I've learned is sometimes boring demos are the best ones. So thank you for sitting through that demo. We're really excited to bring the capability to you. Next, I want to cover the second part of our strategy, which is reimagining access control with continuous trusted access. What should we consider before granting access, and what should users do after they authenticate? Let me show you what's possible when we bring Cisco's leading market position in security and networking together. Here we see Susan, a marketing specialist, logging in from a device and a network that we recognize. Now, she starts working on some marketing activity, which is typically, part of her role, and so everything's fine. But what happens when Susan moves to a coffee shop? Now she's on an unknown network. She keeps working, but because of this small change, we observe her activity a little bit more closely. Next, Susan starts downloading data with personally identifiable information, which is against company policy. This might be malicious, or it might be just inadvertent, or it could be a policy configuration error. Either way, we want to make sure that we stop the download and start an investigation. The customer data remains secure. Now let's look at the third part of our strategy around extended detection and response. Now, the SecOps teams need to know when they're impacted by a threat and how quickly can they remediate that threat. But it can be hard to keep up with all the information in from multiple different security products coming in. That's why we developed SecureX, to deliver the most secure and simple experience to help you scale. And we provide it at no charge with any security product from Cisco. There are nearly 6,000 SecureX customers today, including companies like Harley-Davidson. Now, we continue to innovate and make SecureX even better for you, and there's a lot of innovation that you can expect to see coming in the next few months and quarters ahead. Now, let me share an example of how SecureX can help automate human-powered tasks. It's a situation we can all relate to, and that's phishing. My company has a process to forward suspicious emails to IT to investigate. Now, when I get a suspicious email like this one, or one from a foreign prince promising to give me millions, I just forward that email to an email alias that I've been given. And I don't even know it, but SecureX takes over automatically behind the scenes. I immediately get a reply that the email is being investigated. And in less than a minute after that, I get another reply with the results. The message was malicious, and I should delete it. It was that quick. Now, behind the scenes, what's happening is SecureX analyzed the email and notified me. And it automatically created a message with the SecOps WebEx space where the team can take action with just one click. Now, this is just one example of how we're working to reduce complexity for the SecOps team. In fact, everything we're doing focuses on simplicity and efficacy. There's far too much friction in security for both the end user and the SecOps team, and it's our job to simplify that for you. It's also hard to ensure efficacy when the signal-to-noise ratio is so lopsided. So our objective is to tip the scales, reduce the friction while improving the efficacy so that we can reduce your risk. And we're doing this across all of our security products. Now, Cisco's commitment to you is for us to turn up our innovation on what's already the most comprehensive portfolio in the industry. And with that, I want to hand it back to Jerry to close us out, and thank you immensely for taking the time to listen to this presentation around Cisco's end-to-end security strategy.
Thanks, G2. And big thanks to Chuck, Todd, Jonathan, and Liz for sharing with us today. But the learning is just getting started. We have more than 450 sessions this week, including nearly 100 that will be broadcast live across our 6 streaming channels. We have more than 700 speakers, including some very special guests, great performances by some of the best talent in the industry, and amazing discussions on the most important trends in technology. It is truly an exciting time to be in tech, and the challenges in front of us are enormous. But the opportunities to make a positive impact and create an inclusive future for all are absolutely clear to us. That work starts right now. Enjoy the rest of the day and all of the sessions, and I'll see you again on day 2 of Cisco Live.